And we're live. What's up, guys? Yogizilla here with Obi-Wan X2. Now TSC Obi-Wan. Is that the deal?
Yeah.
So confusing. It's episode 127. HorsePLAY Live Uncut. We have a little bit of a pre-show. Pre-show. Earlier, we've been doing. Obi's been hosting the HorsePLAY Live pre-show, like gameplay. We banter, we play games before the show. Then gaming death happens. Usually alongside that, we stop around 9:30, 10. And now we're doing a formal podcast pre-show. And here we are. Make sure I have everything set up. Man, I want to say, in the pre-show, I'll get some quick shout-outs out there, in case we don't get to them in the main show. First of all, congrats to KMagic101 who got his sub. He worked hard for that, so he deserves it. It's rare that someone that works hard gets the attention, usually luck or being connected with the right people, but we're proud of him. He's doing some big things. And he's actually streaming right now. Doing some things, man. Got a bunch of subs already, too. There's the power of collaboration. Hooked up with some Twitch streamers that were already partnered, and they got him in. It's probably the easiest way to do it. Instead of being on the grind. Gotta have that leverage. Also, shout out to Morgana Freya, who's always supporting our streams, and not just by tuning in, but she tells people about us. She helps with some graphic design stuff. I mean, I do graphic design. I think Fatal does graphic design. A lot of us do graphic design, but just some top-notch overlays, and she's always willing to help out folks. We appreciate that. Nobi has a headache, so he's being really quiet. I feel like I'm cutting in and out. Ugh. I'm getting closer to the mic. So my swivel chair finally broke. And I'm on a really annoying wooden chair. I need to invest in a good chair. Eventually. Alright, good talk. So tonight we're gonna be talking about Doom. I'd like to go pretty deep on it, but I have a feeling we're gonna be talking a lot about TV shows. At this rate, I might even start the show a little earlier. We can wrap it up a little earlier. We'll see. What else? There's some news. We got some. We're gonna go down a trip down memory lane. Kind of go over a brief history, a very brief history of shooters or FPS games, if you prefer. You back, Obi?
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, okay. I figured. So yeah, I was just shouting out Kevin from Worst Radio Show, the now defunct Worst Radio Show. At least it's on hiatus, let's say. He's got a sub button. I don't know if we mentioned that in the show yet. But he's still part of the gang. He's more involved with the King Gathalion community, which I understand, He's really hitting the Twitch scene hard, so. And they got a new podcast out, The Jam, which is pretty good. Pretty good. I'm not keying up on, I feel like I'm not keying up on OBS enough. Do you hear me okay on TeamSpeak, Obi?
Yeah, man, great.
Test. Hello. Okay. Alright, cool. Everyone's going crazy with the bot and Kevin's channel. Doing the gambling stuff. He's got galactic credits. I was losing those things. Never roll. I never roll a good roll. And I was saying shout out to Morg because she's been getting active again. She's got a Patreon campaign. Let's check her out, Morgana Freya. Very simple, you know. Doesn't promise a lot. It's a simple way to help her with some residual income. She's a stay-at-home mom. She does graphic design work. She streams, you know, supplement her income. You know, every little bit helps. I think her Patreon's Morgana Freya as well. I look her up. You look up Morgana Twitch. She should come up on Kickstarter. I'm not Kickstarter, Patreon. Very different. All right, so let's do the audio test. You ready, Obi?
Sure.
All right, here we go.
You are listening to.
All right.
Actually, I'm gonna. Yeah, that's good. Obi, you sound like you really don't feel good.
I don't. And I went and got some milk just to maybe calm my stomach, man, but it's. Oof.
Well, you want to get the show rolling now? Then
Yeah. Whenever you're ready, I'm ready.
All right. So when you say go, I'm gonna hit the music. You're accounting for the slight delay when the stream starts, right? Because like the Twitch has this weird thing when you connect to it, it has like a 3 to 5 second delay before it actually picks up your audio.
I don't know. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, I'm starting now.
You are listening to an All Games Radio Network broadcast of AllGames.com.
What's up, guys? Yomar here, aka YogiZilla. I just have a real quick call to action today. If you want to support the Geeky Answers Network, it's a really simple thing you could do. We give you a few links, and all you gotta do is click on them, share them, like them. You do all the social media stuff. Ideally, buy something, but it's not required of you. Of course, this is just a way to help our sponsors out and help us pay our bills. And we just humbly ask that you share these links as much as you can. No pressure, no pressure. But we would greatly appreciate it. I mean, we get it. Lots of people don't have money these days. Disposable income, what is that? So donating is not always a thing. But clicking links and sharing stuff on social media, I think everybody could do that. So the links are very simple. They all start with geekyantics.net/whatever, right? So one is geekyantics.net/shiny the other one is geekyantics.net/weddings. And then we have geekyantics.net/Martin Septic. And if you just share those and tell some friends, check them out, see what's out over there. And if you like what you see, definitely spread the word. I'm sure you know at least 5 people that might be at least mildly interested. And we'd greatly appreciate it. Thanks so much, guys.
Hi, this is Normie from Knuckleballer Radio and Zombie Cast, and you're listening to one of my favorite shows on the Geeky Antics Network. Don't forget to check out the rest of the gang over at geekyantics.net. Warning, there might be rants and food ahead and possibly inappropriate behavior. Don't tell anybody though.
And what's up, germs, gents, geeks, gamers, whatever you guys are out there that's listening to us? It's Horseplay Live. What's up, guys? Today, Thursday, May 19th, 2016, and this episode 127. Doomed to have fun. But before we get into all that crazy bullshit aside later, I'm joined by everybody's filthy favorite hardcore casual bear lizard, bear, Godzilla, whatever he calls himself every now and then, Yogizilla. What's up, dude?
What's up? You put the board, didn't you? You're like, that's it? I'm sorry. What's up?
No, I'm fine. No, you're good, dude. I don't know, man. My stomach is just rocked right now. Just, whew.
Yeah, so we started the show a little earlier. We're more than our time. We did a little pre-show. We did 2 pre-shows. So I guess it might be a short show if you don't feel that well. We'll run with it. Ooh, I'm gassy. Maybe it's going around, whatever you have. But
yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't, like I said, I wouldn't try to drink some milk or something just to coat my stomach. But man, I think it's already set in. Whew. Yeah. So what you been up to, man?
I'm just laughing because someone in another one of the chats I'm in here said that Battleborn is 2 League of Legends. Then I'm like, ew, no.
No, it's not.
If I see something that's MOBA-like or MOBA, and they're like, it's League of Legends. Like, stop it. League of Legends is its own thing. It's a great game, but the toxicity in there. It just makes you laugh. But then they go, oh, I didn't actually play it, but I've seen it a bit.
Okay. I know. I'm really thinking about getting Overwatch.
Yeah, I think everybody's really hyped about Overwatch. I'm really curious, you know, we're both really big on Blizzard. A lot of people in our community are huge on Blizzard games. I'm really curious to see if it does better on console or PC. I feel like it's going to do better on PC for a few reasons. It's cheaper on PC. There's a $40 option. That's already huge. Number 2, there's already a community for it because people are plugged into people that play Blizzard games usually play more than one Blizzard game. You know, they at least dabble in 2 or 3 of the other ones, right? Like Hearthstone, which is free to everyone. And so because of that, there's already an ecosystem. And number 3, I think MOBAs are still, or anything MOBA-like is still more popular on PC. On the flip side, Overwatch is something, it's going to be something fresh. Oh, and it comes out next week. Oh, crap. You know, it's going to be something fresh for console gamers. So it's a tough call.
Right.
I don't know. I think I will jump on board on it. I mean, I already had it pre-ordered, and I was going to cancel it so I get the money back. I mean, I had it pre-ordered for a while back. I'm like, you know what? I could use the extra money, but I feel like I need to play this for the community and really give it a real go.
I mean, I'm gonna, like, you know, like I said before, like, I try to get into it where I have, you know, I play a couple different MOBAs, maybe a couple, you know, an MMO or 2, and then, you know, you have your different shooting games and like driving games, and I think this is just one that I'm gonna play probably. Battleborn, I had fun playing it, but I just don't see it happening right now.
Yeah, it's a shame because you and I have both had high hopes for Battleborn, and I don't know.
Don't get me wrong, I still do. The hype train right now, and maybe I've sunk into that a little bit, maybe, but the hype train that's going on right now is all Overwatch. Yeah. Overwatch. You're seeing commercials on TV as you're watching your programs. Overwatch, you know, and then you have that one, the one where what's her name talks.
Oh, yeah, I think that's what I'm about. And then, you know, even Taco Bell.
Everybody could use a hero.
That was Tracer, right? You talking about Tracer commercial? Yeah. She's really popular. She's kind of like the mascot for the game. I mean, Taco Bell got involved with the really shitty cups you could get, and it has the stuff printed out on it. I mean, the Overwatch hype train is huge, and it has to be because $60. All right, so most people probably have like Amazon or Best Buy Gamer Club Unlocked, where you could get, with Amazon Prime or Best Buy Gamer Club Unlocked, you get 20% off pre-orders of video games and new releases. And I think they define new releases as any game released within a 7 to 14-day window. I forget.
Mhm.
You have a little bit of time to do that. It really should be a month, but they really want to get people to buy it early as possible to pad those sales numbers.
Right.
So, you're spending, instead of $60, plus tax, whatever, you're probably spending more like 45, 47. It's a little more reasonable, right? It's under $50. But it's
Right.
still a huge commitment, and while Battleborn and Overwatch are distinct games, they're still similar enough where you have to really think about it. Like, well, it kind of is a one or the other proposition.
Because if you guys remember, in the before here, within the last 2 weeks, we were both going, we're probably going to get Battleborn because it just sounds better. I mean, there's people are, talking about it and doing stuff. Now everybody's just talking about Overwatch, and it's just in the last couple of weeks I've thought about it, and I have other IRL friends that actually are going to be playing it. And I don't know if I want to pass all that up. It's just like any gamer, I'm looking for people to play with.
Yeah, Fatal already broke my heart because he said he's going to be getting it on a PS4. I'm like, ugh. And then
Yeah, I know.
I think
know that. I have to have a word with him.
Well, BFT, I think's getting it. He confirmed that he pre-ordered it on PC.
That's TSE Blades now. Thank you.
Well, to me, he's just Oolong because I can't keep track of all the name changes. So
Yeah, remember that one, guys. Add him up, at TSE Blades.
he also needs to change. You have to have a word to him about changing his profile picture. It's bad. It looks bad when your Twitter avatar is an egg.
Right. Well, we're in the midst of the art.
Yeah, let's get something placeholder up. Anything's better than an egg.
Oh yeah, I know.
Egg just screams, I don't really care enough to bother with this. That's the way I look at it from a marketing perspective.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I've heard great things about Battleborn, but I look at my friends list, I don't see anyone play. I think I saw maybe one person play this week, though I haven't been playing that many games myself this week. But still, usually you look on your list, you'll see people playing games on rotation, Division, Elder Scrolls Online, Smite, Destiny. Those are kind of like the big ones I see on my list. But I see like maybe one person play Battleborn if I'm lucky. So I saw more people playing Doom, surprisingly, which that's a game that people really shat on. So
Yeah, like I was telling you earlier too, with Doom, it's something that I was watching you play, and it's just like a Halo, or just like that kind of game, I guess you could call it. I don't know how to explain it.
it's an arena shooter or an arcade style shooter.
Yeah, which like I was watching when we were last first couple times you were streaming, and I was like, damn, you're pretty good at this, because you were just like coming around corners shooting people in the face with a fucking shotgun.
Yeah.
And then you start getting your ass whipped. You change to a different gun, and it was good.
Yeah,
I would, like I
I'm
said, I would
streaky in the
get it.
game.
I would get it, but right now it's just one of those things. Like I'm desperately waiting for it to go down $20, just
Yeah.
because I just 30, 35, $40 maybe is on the maybe part, but 60 it's to the point where I just can't.
And the thing about
And
it
the game is
too,
great.
the replay value, like this is a complete package. Like I don't usually buy with a single player, but I'm actually really enjoying the single player and taking my time with it. People are saying you can go through each level in like 5 minutes, and I'm taking like 20, 30 minutes per level because I'm trying to search every nook and cranny, trying to find the secrets and just take it all in.
Mhm.
So I'm really getting my money's worth with that. The multiplayer is fun. There's like 12, 15 different game modes. They're kind of iterative, perhaps, in some people's eyes. But then on top of that, you have Snap Map, and there's all the community maps in there. And that's where I feel like if that really catches on, people start making more maps. Like there's already tons of maps on there, and the game just came out. So I can see that being a big thing where there's gonna be more mods and stuff. And if they really support that, like they did, with Quake and stuff like that, it's gonna be huge. Cause that's what made Doom 2 really big for me. And a lot of people say, "Oh, well, Quake is really the big game," but we'll get into that later. But like Doom 2 had a huge modding community, and that's what made it really exciting for me. We got a friend in the house. Woo! Hello.
Good morning.
But yeah. So Battleborn. From what I've seen, the people that are playing it love it for the most part that I know of, and it's got a very strong like cult following, like a kind of a niche. It's its own little niche. I know there's a lot of people that like Borderlands are smitten by it, but it seems to be an acquired flavor. Still a great game. I will wait for it to go down and eventually get it. But Overwatch seems like the one that everyone's going to be jumping onto in our community. So by the way, I've been messing around with the latest OBS Studio, which used to be the multi-platform beta. I used to call it OBS multi-platform. I gotta say, they've done a lot with OBS Studio. Like, it's really stable. And I'm using that now with my PVR instead of the other software solution I was using. And it's the video it creates is really smooth, and I don't have the desync issues anymore. So from when I stream from the Xbox One, this is gonna be my solution. I'm still having trouble with Twitch alerts. For some reason, Twitch alerts are very temperamental for me lately. I just don't feel like troubleshooting it. But recently overheard on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Geeky Antics, where you can catch us live. Not just for this show, but other podcasts and gameplay streams and other fun stuff. Community game nights, gang nights, all kind of stuff. Someone wrote this quote. I would swim up the Amazon River with 50-pound dumbbells attached to my penis, with Oprah's queef as my oxygen supply, just to hear you fart through a walkie-talkie. We appreciate that. I think that was during my first playthrough of Doom when I did Friday. It came out Friday, didn't it? Or Friday or Thursday? Yeah, it was Thursday at midnight. I got it on Friday, started playing that. That's what I got in my chat. Good times.
Wow.
Yeah. You could probably guess who wrote that too.
I don't want to guess.
Maybe it's better that way. But in case you were wondering, the wonderful opening theme that you catch in the beginning of our show is Jet Lag Dubstep. And our outro is Robot Bunny, both of which are provided royalty-free by TechnoAxe. That's techno with a K, technoaxe.com. Check them out. Royalty-free music, awesome stuff. Word. Sobi, how's your week been? Other than you're not feeling very good right now.
Hectic. Hectic, very hectic. Trying to get everything in place, make steps to where, we're moving forward, not backwards. Just hectic, man. Crazy.
Yeah, same here.
Because we launched the organization. Well, we launched it. It was kind of almost like a soft launch type. Get the information out there. Getting on Twitter, getting on. We're gonna be doing like a YouTube. I think we're gonna be concentrating mostly for right now. That this very second. Eventually, we'll be doing a stream of some sort for the organization as a whole. But YouTube and Twitter and Instagram, stuff like that. When we get new stuff coming in. The logos, once we get those going and those finalized, we'll be Instagramming those out and tweeting those out, and it's crazy. A lot of work. I knew it was coming. I just, yeah.
Yeah, now I hear ya. On the network side, for Geeking Antics, I got a bunch of stuff that I'm working on and kind of just doing solo right now because can't afford to pay anybody, unfortunately. And everybody's kind of doing their own thing, which I understand. Everybody's got their own projects, and Now I'm in the process of negotiating deals because it's like the hard thing about freelancing is like sometimes you'll have a nice stable of clients, and then just as when you finally get to a point where you can put money aside and reinvest, like people will flake out, they won't pay their bill, or they're canceled for no reason, and they don't have any issues. Like, is it a money problem? I can work with you on the price? No. Or are you not satisfied with the service? No. Then what is it? And that's kind of what I'm dealing with right now. So after this week, I'm gonna do Retro Friday tomorrow. I'm gonna probably do a dual stream with IB Loud. And I've already scaled back my gaming stuff, but I'm going to stream even less, which doesn't really matter. I've been streaming just the geeky answers. I don't even stream on my channel anymore. Gotta get focused and work on some revenue streams. I need to reinvest a lot of money, starting with getting a chair that's comfortable to work in, because this thing kills my back. Ugh. White people problems. Yeah? Okay. Good talk.
Yeah. Good talk.
So what's tonight on the show, B?
Tonight on the show, guys, there's some light news covering some of the more obscure topics in gaming this week. We also may very well get stuck talking about TV shows, as several shows approaching their final season finale. Guys, we got to. Some of the season finales that we're going to be talking about tonight are just crazy. We'll go through a brief history of gaming, modern FPS faves, and our Doom first impressions. Well, Yogi's. I watched it anyway, but we'll be talking about that.
Yep.
By the way, guys, if you're new to the show, guys, welcome to the party. It's
Woo!
Yeah.
Woo!
I wasn't even thinking about that
Woo!
today, dude. HorsePLAY Live is everywhere you can listen to or download awesome podcasts, including, but not limited to. I'm just kidding. I lost my place. HorsePLAY Live.
I noticed.
I know, right?
Well, let's just run with it.
I'm talking about that, but whatever. HorsePLAY Live is the flagship talk radio show for geeky antics in collaboration with allgames.com. Our show covers all the aspects of geek culture with a special focus on indie and strategy games, technologies, rants, issues that geeks face, and of course our community events that we try to put on or be a part of. We rant too, quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sometimes we'll even talk about retro, tabletop gaming. Hell, even 9 times out of 10 we talk about food too. So why? We still don't know. It's okay. Yogi, what's going on with HorsePLAY Live?
Yeah, in a nutshell, we're a live show. We're a late night show. We're uncut, mostly. Well, we're somewhat segmented, but you just kind of go with the flow. So because of that, crazy things can and will happen. We may say something offensive. We may fart. We may go on a tangent about food, or all of the above. You never know what's gonna happen. So keep it open mind, have fun with us, and remember, this is HorsePLAY. HorsePLAY. The shenanigans are abound. It's not it's not about horse play. It's not about horses. It's about the play. The play part's more important. But altogether, HorsePLAY. Shenanigans, antics, geeky antics, if you will. Yeah. See, yeah.
Wow. Don't forget, geeks, HorsePLAY Live is every Thursday at 11 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 p.m. Pacific, 4 a.m. GMT. On Twitch channels Geeky Antics and YogiZilla. HorsePLAY Live replay is now available, or also available earlier on Thursdays, right around 5 p.m. Eastern Time, right on allgames.com. And I will tell you real quick how that works. You guys go to allgames.com about 5 o'clock. Go in there, listen to just the intro. Hell, 5 minutes, literally, of the show. Help us out, guys. Give us a view. Give us a like. All the comments, reviews, we love them all, guys. We want them.
Indeed.
I do not have a Obi on the potty.
The potty. Yes, Obi on the crapper.
I don't have an OB on the crapper today. I really don't. I'm just I'm doing everything I can not to.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a lot of truncation. Like after with all the white noise that we have in here, and probably all the silence, the dead air, probably gonna cut out like 20, 30 minutes out of the show post production.
I'm sorry, man. I'm not trying to.
Uh,
Your
well,
fault.
well, let's move on to the next segment then.
It's your fault. That's all I got to say.
That's my fault.
It's just because. If
Okay.
it's not your fault, then it has to be mine, and I know it's not mine.
Gotcha, makes sense. That logic kind of checks out.
Kind of check out. All right, guys, it's time for the obligatory news and rants.
Ding. So, folks, we're talking about MOBAs a little bit, and Dota 2 is crowdfunding. They just began their crowdfunding a couple days ago, actually, for their international tournament prize pool. So that's kind of cool. The whole fact that they have some big prize pools for their tournaments. So the fact that they're doing crowdfunding and getting so much money together is pretty insane because they're like in the millions when they do these prize pools. These are not small events at all. Like Dota 2 has like a top tier esports scene. It's crazy. People don't realize it either. Like it seems like a niche thing, but it's a strong competitive.
And it's funny
community.
they don't advertise or they don't stream it hardly ever, so like nobody really even cares about Dota 2. I know, guys, I don't either.
They've had a few, actually a handful at least of streamed events on like ESPN 3, ESPN 2, stuff like that. That's something. It's starting to esports is starting to really enter the mainstream, but you still have guys like the Colin Cowherd from ESPN Radio who was like, "Get out of your mother's basement." You know, an idiot. He doesn't see that this is really the direction things have been heading in for a while. But what can you do? People are dumb.
If that punk ass Colin, whatever his freaking name is, if that punk ass would just realize that there's some gamers that are in their mother's basement or whatever the fuck he's talking about that makes more money than he does. So, golf homeboy. To say it's the same line of those people that say esports is not a sport.
Well, I mean,
It doesn't matter.
I joke around a lot about golf and how it's not a real sport, but there was a time where they refused to televise golf because they thought there wouldn't be an audience for it, and it's doing quite well. People still tune into golf on TV. I think it's stupid because I find it absolutely boring. I mean, it's good to go to sleep with, but there's an audience for it, and I guess esports might be the same thing where if you're not understanding and following what's going on, you're not into the sport, then you're not gonna want to watch it at all.
Well, it's not only that though. It's not only that it's a they're claiming it's a sport. It's a point that people don't understand it at all. Like you get parents. Like I've talked to several parents with doing teams and doing stuff like that, and and answering questions, and they're all like, "Well, really, like you can make money at this?" And I'm like, "There's ways that you can make money at this if you do it the right thing. If you do your social media the right way. If you present right. Certain lot of factors."
You get money making everything, really, doing anything, really,
Right, but it's these parents, like right now, parents like my mom and dad. Yeah, they're a little bit older. They don't understand a word. Like why? Because I asked, I was like, "You think I should get a job if I can?" And my dad's like, "Of course." I'm like, "Yeah, nah." He was like, "Why?" I was like, "Because really." I'm already getting what I need from my month, but it's something that I don't want to. If I can make video content, make audio content, do something, live stream, do something that you could possibly make money. It only takes one time, and you can blow up. But on the other end of the spectrum, it only takes one time, and everything can fall apart.
Yeah. Now I'm with you. Like I'll be honest, we've been having some money situations, and I get a lot of job leads, and some of them are job offers, quote unquote, and they offer really tempting things, but the amount of bullshit I have to go through, it's just and the amount of ads I have to kiss to make the money. Yeah, I'll be way better off, you know, but it's just that I'm at that point where I'd rather do what I believe in, what I'm passionate about, and struggle a little bit than just jump on a job because it's money. I mean, there's more to it than that, and I'm not gonna get too personal, but that's the point. I think you need to. There's a certain point where you just have to do what you really believe in, because just because you make money doesn't make you successful. It's success is to me is finding a purpose, finding fulfillment in what you do.
Right.
And that comes in many different flavors. But yeah, I think it's just funny because there is a stigma about online still. There's still people that don't get, that there's things you could do that are creative, that are obtuse perhaps, that you can make money online. And they think it's weird. It's like, why don't you just get a paper route, or flip some burgers if you really need some money. It's like, they just like their old ways. And we live in a time now where intellectual property and services are just as valuable, if not more valuable, than tangibles. And developing content is huge, and it's not going to change anytime soon. At least not for another decade. Because
it's something to the point where we understand and see that the gaming content creation, this side of, I guess you could just say, computers, or just in general the electronics, it's booming right now. I mean, if you can do it, do it. Because like I said before, you get one video that you put out that's just freaking awesome and people like it and it spreads. What happens if you get one video that just goes viral because you freaking raged on something or you just did something,
Oh yeah, you never know. You never know what's gonna hit.
That's all it takes. So I mean, it's something that you just if you really like to do it, do it. If you really love to stream. If you really want to do YouTube, do YouTube.
We live in a time right now where people are content raptors. That people just want to consume content. That's like the number one thing. Like binge. Like people don't have time to make a phone call or catch up with family or whatever, and do chores. But people binge watch shows, and they go down the YouTube rabbit hole and all this kind of stuff. Watch a bunch of vines, right? People just want more and more content. That's why people don't have time, because they're spending it used to be the boob tube, now it's all these other things, And look at Ted Bracewell, our friend from Zombie Cast and All Games Network. I've hung out with him, IRL, great guy, and you wouldn't know it, but like he has anxiety issues and other kind of things that he takes medication for, and he's admitted that on the air. But like he seems like such an everyday guy, but he has his struggles. And one day and he's a really talented artist, by the way. And one day he decided to just throw together a YouTube video. He made an animation. I think he did it like in Flash and then rendered it, whatever. It's like South Park style. It's Combat Kids. You probably heard of it. He didn't expect it to be a huge thing, and he's made thousands of dollars in ad revenue just off that one video. And that's also led to other opportunities, people hiring him to do other work, commission work. So, that's the thing. Just do what you're passionate about. Eventually, you'll hit if you really believe in what you're doing.
Yep. And that's the thing that, you hear about a lot of people like, oh, you're not really going to succeed unless you love it or you want it. That's it. You have to want it. I mean, if you're just going to be a casual gamer, you're going to get the casual return. That's just how it is. You have to want if you're passionate about something, it's not work, guys. I have so much. Yogi has, with everything that he does with the network, stuff that I'm getting ready to start doing with the Top Star Esports. It's a lot of stuff in the background. It's not work to us because we love it. You love something, go for it, regardless. Especially in gaming. I mean, there's so much room to grow. There's so much room to where, oh, I'm playing the same game as this guy. I'm doing this and this and this. I'm copying him. No, you're not. You just have similar likes in games. There's so much room for you to grow, and basically not copy somebody exactly what they're doing, but be doing something similar to somebody else. The way they stream, maybe the way they converse with their chat, or the way they come at the game, or maybe the way they talk a lot, or they do funny things. They change scenes when they're not actually playing the game, and they have little stuff like here this past week, Tim the Tap Man. If you guys know him, go check him out. He's funny. At Tim the Tap Man. But you guys can go check him out, and he put out a video that just went crazy. It was him sitting in a chair, dancing, doing one of his sub things, and his chair broke. DX Racer broke. And this is a custom chair made, and guys, Tim's not a little guy either. Okay, he's I don't want to. Somebody said he was close to like 280. I mean, 250, 260. He's 6 foot, somewhere in there. But he's a bigger boy. So they had to actually like custom, for a bigger person. And he snapped the base of the chair on stream. I mean, he made a video, but it was so funny. Just look up if you guys want to watch it. Tim the Tap Man breaks chair. It's so funny. It's hilarious. You will laugh for a while after it.
I threw my chair once during a stream. I finally beat a super hard boss that I was severely under level 4. Good times. Secret Amana, if you want to check that out. Secret Amana video on Geeky Antics channel. The last video, I finally beat that damn boss. It was like an hour-long battle. Hour-long boss fight. Insane.
How many times your wife and kids come in there and be like, hey, I need your help?
Oh, God. That's actually one of those nights where they actually let me be. Thank God. Otherwise, I would not have made it, because an hour just for that boss fight and getting up to it, that was crazy. And Morgan says he's 6 feet and 300 pounds.
Okay, well, yeah, and she saw it too. Guys, rumors are coming out that the Steam Summer Sale is rumored to start January or June. January.
Summer sale in January. There you go.
June 23rd. That's 2 days after my birthday. Yeah.
I'll put a note in there in the show notes so everybody knows. 2 days after OB's birthday. There you go.
Wow, you didn't need to be a dick like that, but okay. That's calm.
By the way, the Steam Summer Sale, so put some money aside, because you're going to see one thing on sale really cheap, and you'll be like, damn, I wish I had the money.
But I'm really not going to be... The only thing that I'm going to be focusing on for PC here this coming year is going to be WoW. I'm not really going to be doing a lot of PC right now.
Renee Bones, Princess Kitty, she's back into WoW. You should hit her up.
Mm-hmm.
WoW's so cyclical. I'm glad I cut that off when I did, because I do not feel any attachment to it. Like, I hear people talking about their first Naxxramas and blah 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 temple and everything pre-Burning Crusade. I'm like, meh. I dodged a bullet.
I did that shit when it was actually new.
Oh yeah, I mean, people were talking about hitting, what was the big Master Warden, was it the highest level you could reach or some shit, and people selling their characters for $2,000 or more because
Yeah.
they spent like I don't know how many hours, 1,000+ hours leveling up that character. Like it's just too much. I mean, I played vanilla a while. You know, I dabbled here and there. It's an awesome game. I'm just glad it dodged that bullet because like I would never get anything done.
No, you wouldn't. And no, I'm actually limiting myself to playing. I'm gonna be, I'm in a guild right now that's really, really casual. Like they raid maybe a couple times a week. There's PvPers. There's people that don't do a damn thing except sit in there and just have cat social time.
Yeah.
Which those people kind of sucks because then they don't do anything. So, like you can't be like you're like, hey, let's go PvP. No, I'm gonna just sit here and do nothing.
Are they allowed to? If they want to pay $15 a month for a glorified chat room, that's their their prerogative.
Yeah, well, basically, yeah. What's next on the list?
So, SEGA, there's a video that went back in circulation. SEGA had the 1996 training documentary that just resurfaced, and it's neat because it's basically it documents life as a game tester. It's really cool. Seeing like the fashion of the time and how their offices were, and it was really neat. Like people testing games on Game Gear and Sega Genesis. What was it? They had the Pico, kids handheld systems, and the 32X and Sega CD. Sega Saturn was out at this time, but the documentary must have been older, like by the time they finished it. So I guess they didn't show the Sega Saturn in there, but it's just really neat. Like a neat little trip down memory lane, and it's just cool too because even though it's old school, it's still relevant. Like the stuff the knowledge they share in there. If people think game testing is like this glamorous job, like oh man, I'd love to be just a game tester. No, you don't want it. No, just because you love video games doesn't mean you're cut out to be a game tester. You have to be detail oriented. You have to be a great communicator, especially in written format, right? And let's just face that, most gamers that we know are not that in any regards.
True.
And you gotta also think sometimes. You gotta think in ways. You have to play the game two ways. First, find the most common pitfall, like play the game the way the average person would play it, and then see if it breaks. And then you have to play it. Stress test it and try to break it on purpose and see if you can find design flaws. And then, of course, number one, most important thing is just determine if the game is fun. And if it isn't fun, why isn't it? And objectively say why isn't it fun? What's keeping this from being fun? What's the potential? And what are the opportunities? So it was really cool. Check it out. It's on Vimeo and YouTube, if I'm not mistaken. And a bunch of people reported on it. I always secretly wanted to work for Sega, but I just can't do the corporate thing. It's not me. It's just not where I am in my life. Once upon a time, sure. But maybe if I'm reborn, who knows? But don't let me stop you. So Blizzard announced their official cheating and hacking policy for their FPS Overwatch. And they seem like they have a very detailed plan on that. We won't go too deep into it, but it's just nice knowing that they have firm plans for that. I mean, with Heroes of the Storm, they've had a very firm plan of attack, keeping that community as sportsman-like and friendly as possible, as accessible as possible. And they've done a great job with that game. Even with Hearthstone, So I think they're going to do some really good stuff with Overwatch. And again, it's another thing that I feel like PC might be a better place because they'll have more control over it. On console, I think they're limited on the moderation of the community to a degree. I feel like your hands are a little more tight on console. Even though you pay the licensing fees and all that stuff, it's like a different kind of ecosystem, Mm-hmm. So we'll see. I'm really encouraged by it. And again, Overwatch looks very promising. A couple more things. Pokemon Go, North American registration for beta test is now open. If you're interested in that, Gotta catch 'em all. And Fox released a trailer for the upcoming reboot of the 1975 film, The Rocky Horror Picture Show. You may have heard of it. They're doing a reboot of that. No comment? Okay. Moving on.
Nice. I'm just debating if I need to get up or not.
Okay. There's some quick deals for cheap bastards. Dark Souls 3 has already dropped in price. A lot of places have a $10 price drop or more. So is it time to buy now? Or I don't know. My question is, how long will people be playing this? Because I'm kind of curious about the co-op on it. Everybody's like, why don't you have Dark Souls 3? Well, I have Dark Souls 2. Don't you have that? I have Dark Souls 1 too on PC. But we'll see. If people are still playing Dark Souls 3 in a month, then I'd be tempted to buy then. Spaz 2 is now available on Steam Early Access. That's Space Pirates and Zombies, games that I've been watching and a few other people have been keeping an eye on. And here's a little PSA, 'cause a lot of people don't know this, but if you have an Xbox One, probably the best deal in gaming, EA Access. $30 a year or $6 a month, pretty more or less. You get access to a ton of EA games. I know, EA is a shitty company these days, but you get access to sports games, shooters, games like Dragon Age, Inquisition, Battlefield 4, Battlefield Hardline, Need for Speed Rivals, Madden 16. Whichever Madden 17 is already on pre-order status too, but that's not on EA Access. But there's a ton of games you can play through EA Access. UFC, Peggle 2, Plants vs Zombies, the original, not the new one. Plants vs Zombies, the Garden Warfare, that is. Tons of games for $30 a year. It's a pretty sweet deal. So spread the word, 'cause a lot of people don't know about this great program. And I think I see a Gunny Chief hiding in the chat, lurking. I see you, Henry. Oh, yeah. But make sure you check out Horrible Gamers podcast. Good guys over there. Good bunch of people. They're also syndicated on the Geeky Hands Network, and they're part of the BS Podcast Network. Well, since Obi's not here, just quick shout-outs in addition to what I just said. If you want to check out our friends, our heroes, our sponsors, go to geekyantsys.net/sponsors or geekyantsys.net /podcasts. You can meet people like 365 Flicks Podcast, Tangent Bound Podcast, the Ghost Man and Demon Hunter Podcast. There's a lot of great shows. B-Team Podcast. Man, I could go on for a while. The Social Dozen, Gaming Death Podcast. Lots of great shows. Lots of great sponsors. You have people like Martin Septic Service, Shiny Prince, Jinx Apparel. Ooh. Lots of friends, lots of family. Check them out over at geekyantsys.net /podcast and geekyantsys.net /sponsors. But let's move on. We kind of went long on our intro, and I know we're not feeling well. This is our quickie. We're going to briefly look at shooters, because this is something that often frustrates me. Like, people give a lot of credit to Halo and Call of Duty for really inventing the FPS, the first-person shooter genre. Not all right. So that's a true statement when we talk about bringing it to the limelight, perhaps bringing it to the mainstream, perhaps. But there's so many unsung heroes. So if you're passionate about shooters or the evolution of online gaming as a whole, period, share your favorite games. Maybe share some of the lesser-known games. We're gonna go some of the games through the year in a roughly chronological order. Very rough chronological order. I think this is mostly right. Yeah, there's one we should put in here. Alright. So, first up, I would say is Ken's Labyrinth. I think that's the most well-known of the lesser-knowns. It's considered in many regards to be like the first person game. Not really much of a shooter, but it's the first person game. And there's some projectiles involved, if I recall correctly. Then I was Curse of the Catacombs, and if you want to know how old these games were, this is where 5.25-inch discs were still big, not 3.5-inch discs. You're talking about the big blue or black floppy discs, like they're real floppy disks, because they were actually floppy. I used to hate when people would call 3.5-inch diskettes floppy, because there's nothing floppy about them. They were actually quite hard and rigid. Anywho, you back, Obi?
Yeah.
Okay, you feeling better?
No.
All right. Well, I guess if you want to wrap it up early, let me know.
No, for time, I'm fine right now.
So, next one is one that, and there's been some other ones in between, but the next one that's probably of significance is Wolfenstein 3D, or Wolf 3D for short. I remember, I think the executable was actually called Wolf 3D.exe. This is a DOS game, and it was just what was neat about this game was that it was really ultra violent, and it looked good for its time. And it's kind of like the precursor to Doom, because when you look at the little marine dude in the center that shows like your facial expression, your reaction to your damage, it's the same guy in Wolf 3D as it is in Doom.
Yeah.
But they're not related at all. Like it's not actual continuity, but it's just neat how they kind of reused assets. And to me, Doom is the superior game. But Wolf 3D was important because, you get to kill Nazis. Everybody likes that. And there's lots of secrets. And even though the levels were very simple, like the level design was fun. And it laid the groundwork down for what we're going to see here. Just a string of ID software games. So Doom. A lot of people say Doom wasn't huge. And that may be true, but it was one of the first games that, me personally, I saw had significant online multiplayer. And it was mainly set up for LAN play using IPX protocol, which is really big if you were doing I'm not going to get into all the technical stuff of it, but it wasn't a very common thing. So what people did was they would dial into a network, and they would set up a virtual IPX network, and then you could connect with other people and play Doom. Or you could just dial up to your friend and play peer-to-peer. And it was mind-blowing to have something like this. Doom was so popular that for years after, people were still, for at least a decade later, people were still doing mods for Doom. They designed new engines for Doom to make it look better. It's ridiculous. The fan support Doom received. One of the first real modding communities, really. Then Hexen, was it Hexen or Riven that came? It was Hexen first, and then Riven later on. And Hexen was really neat because it was Doom with magic. You use fireballs and magic spells and stuff like that. And it was neat. It was a different kind of feeling. And just the change in atmosphere made a big difference. Hexen didn't do as well commercially. They didn't push for it as hard with the shareware discs and overall marketing efforts. But it had a strong cult following, I would say. And Doom 2, I think, is where Doom really hit its peak. And we really saw the real potential. I feel that's when we really said this is what the potential is, because Doom 2, at the time, I remember distinctly, magazines, if you went to software stores or even computer stores, they had CDs, official CD redistributions or ghetto bootlegs of map packs that people compiled on CDs, or on diskettes. Depending on what time you got them, man. And it was just neat because so many people were passionate about Doom 2. They introduced new enemies, new triggers, so you can make more detailed maps. There's all kind of neat things you could do with it. The thing with the Doom map editor is that you didn't really have true 3D, right? It was all kind of tricks to make it seem like full 3D, but you didn't have true 3D where you actually had layers to the level. So if you went underground, you wouldn't actually be underneath where you were before. It'd be like a camera trick, and you'd be in a different area, sort of stuff like that. Like it's strange to describe, but if you do any kind of game design or level design, you know what I'm talking about. But they did a lot of nice little things, like changing. They did a lot of work with texture and lighting, making different types of lighting effects, like local lighting, spotlights, wide area lighting, flickering lights, fog, kind of like pseudo fog. A lot of nice little things like that. It really, like, to me, like, even though it's simple, even at the time I knew it was very simple and there was so much more you could do, that simplicity of it lets you be more creative with it and find ways to take advantage of the tool set, right? And people made elaborate maps. I made some maps on there that were so big that the Doom map editor could no longer load the map, so I had to actually cut my map down. Like, I built my maps out to the limit of what the game's engine could support. And it's just me just getting to those limits and finding ways to break it. And it's just exciting. Like, I just love that world. Like, I don't know what it is about it, like the fast-paced action, like the darkness. Like, it's a perfect blend of the tension and horror, but also having the fast-paced action. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it's just the perfect marriage of, like, what we've come to expect from, like, a Dead Space meets like a Halo or Call of Duty, like, or Gears of War, and it's good times. Do you have any fond memories with the old school Doom, Obi?
I broke mine because I played it so much.
Oh, what console?
Computer, floppy.
Nice. So, Corridor 7. Did you ever play this?
7, the big fucking square one.
That's what I miss about PC games. PC games used to come in these huge square boxes, like a lot of like tabletop games come now, where you lift the lid up and then there's like a little box there where like the diskette and a booklet, and it was a different time. It was a good time to be a gamer. Like now, it's not as magical. It's lost a lot of the magic. Like I swear, like one day, if I'm ever in the money, I'm just gonna like buy up all these old games in the original packaging and just have them up on the shelf. But Corridor 7 was neat because it didn't do much to change the Doom formula, but it had like the nice sci-fi kind of feel to it. And the neatest thing that they did in that game is that if you played you played different characters online, so you had selectable characters, so you weren't just the ubiquitous hero guy or the random space marine like other games did. You actually picked different characters, and there were characters that had different abilities. And one of the characters had an ability where if you stood still, you would turn into a random item and kind of cloak yourself that way. And usually the item would be some kind of like office thing. So like if you stood still, like something would turn into a lamp, and you'd have to be smart about hiding next to things that make sense. Because if someone sees a lamp standing in the middle of nowhere, like that looks suspicious. So the neatest thing, cause I would just like run away from someone and then like hide by a desk, and then they just run past me, and then just shoot them in the back. It was good times. Rise of the Triad. Do you remember this game, Obi? Rot, they call it. This is the one that, shooting Nazis or zombies has been a time mode tradition. Well, Rise of the Triad had zombies, Nazis, and I believe demons, if I'm not mistaken. It's all kind of blurred in my head, but the big thing about this game is that there was a mercy mechanic. Sometimes enemies would beg for mercy and be like, "No, please, no," and you could walk away and spare them, right? Sometimes they wouldn't attack you, and sometimes they turn around and try to shoot you in the back. Oh yeah, Rise of the Triad did have a remake a few years ago. Yep. I played a little bit of it, but I can't really speak too much to the remake. But apparently, that Rise of the Triad had such a cult following that they made a remake. There you go. But that game was cool because I think it was the first time we really started to see significant 3D. We had real vertical gameplay, right? Not just horizontal. So there was actually more depth to the levels. So that was kind of a big deal. Of course, now Quake, which a lot of people say is a de facto game that people were playing around this time in early '90s. In my circles of friends, people were split between Doom and Quake. Quake was amazing. Like, it had really cool weapons. It was a little more on the... To me, it felt a little more on the horror side to begin with. Whereas Doom was a little more... Initially, I'm a little more on the action side. And then they kind of traded places at some point. But eventually, even though people talk shit about Quake 2 and saying that original Quake was better and Quake 3 Arena was cool, and Quake 3 Arena is actually polarizing. But I think Quake 2 was really the sweet spot for Quake series because that's when they really had the modding and you had all kind of cool shit going on, like the zip lines and all that stuff. Like, people got really creative with the level design, and I think that's really when we saw true 3D. Full on. I think somewhere around this time, I'm jumping around the timeline because I know Duke 3D came out somewhere around this time, and then Unreal. I'm trying to remember which one. I think Unreal came shortly after Duke 3D, and the thing that was impressive. All right, so Duke 3D, everybody knows Duke 3D. That game again was faking the 3D. But it was just cool because they had a lot of cool gimmicks, strip clubs, a lot of secret passageways, and actually really good level design. Like, there's a lot of secret passageways in there that made it really cool. Like, the multiplayer in that game was fun, and good sense of humor, fun weapons, right? Good times. Duke 3D, I think Duke Nukem kind of overtook Serious Sam in popularity. So some people still like Serious Sam, but Unreal to me, this is the next one. Unreal. Oh, do you remember playing Unreal when it first came out?
I think so.
Not Unreal Tournament.
Oh, no.
So Unreal was amazing because this was like part of the push for the Unreal Engine. And not just that, with that, people, the 3D FX cards started coming out. These were like budget video cards that performed like they were monster cards, and the things that these video cards can make even a shitty 486 computer or a entry-level Pentium do at the time was insane. So when Unreal came out, I think I was running at the time I was running a Pentium something with MMX. It was top of the line for the time. I know it was like 90 megahertz. Whatever, 133 megahertz, and that was considered a big deal. Was it 233 megahertz? I don't even remember anymore. I mean, 46 you had like 23 megahertz or 33 megahertz. That was like considered fast. So to put it in perspective, now we have 1.3, 2.3, 3.1 gigahertz, not megahertz. Wow, we've come a long way. But Unreal was amazing because 90 megahertz master race. There you go. BFT knows what I'm talking about. But Unreal was amazing because you looked at this game, you were like, this should not be on my computer screen right now. How is this game doing this? Like, it had ambient lighting and fog effect and occlusive lighting and freaking reflections on the water and ripple effects. You're like, what? And like the environments were fully interactive. It was crazy, and not only did it look beautiful, but it ran smooth as hell. Okay, this is when they started realizing, maybe if we take the load off of the CPU and put it on the video card, we could push the games further.
Yeah.
Okay? And I tell you, Unreal Engine still today is amazing. Like the stuff they put out on there, like Shadow Complex. Not just the Unreal games. Like there's a lot of other games that use the Unreal Engine. I can't think of other ones right now off the top of my head, but like Shadow Complex was a big deal. They even remastered that game. Like you can make a game Unreal, and as an indie person, you can make a budget game because they don't. I think with their pricing, last I checked, they now changed it so you don't pay up front for it. It's free until you make X amount of sales. They ask for like percentage of your sales, so it's still profit for you. So Unreal is probably one of the best ways to develop. Unlike Unity, which to me is a really powerful system, but it doesn't translate as well over to console. It tends to lag over on console side for some reason. But Unity's still really good. But Unreal just when you talk about if you talk about games that look beautiful that don't require much effort to develop, Unreal is just crazy. They perform well and they look beautiful. Would you agree, Obi?
Yeah, I'm still here.
That wasn't a question, but sure. Yeah, he's like a kid that gets in trouble. Like, yeah, I'm still here. I didn't do it.
All right.
So this is another one that I think is really big, and we're skipping a lot of games, and I know people are gonna be like, "Well, you missed a bunch of really important games," and well, for the sake of time, this is supposed to be a quickie, a brief history. Maybe we'll revisit this in the future. Who knows? Soldier of Fortune 2, Double Helix. You remember this game, Obi?
I do.
Now, the reason this game was a big deal is because it was, to me, Counter-Strike before Counter-Strike was a thing.
Yeah, I could see that.
And the thing about Soldier of Fortune 2, there's still people running servers for this. And there's games that they're following the model. Like they had a lot of modding. They had servers with real damage. They had all kinds of different mods, just insane stuff. This is I think Punkbuster debuted around this time. GameSpy Arcade was still huge. Like GameSpy Arcade was starting to really grow at this time. I believe 10 had just shut down Total Entertainment Network, they became Pogo. They decided that stay-at-home moms were a better market. They were right, more money there.
True.
But Soldier of Fortune 2 was just amazing. There's something about that game, like the types of weapons they had in there, the realism of it, doing infiltration, like trying to get intel and then bring it back to your base. It was an intense game. Like it had like a lot of the things that at the time did not exist, like kind of search and destroy type modes, elimination modes. Like it was just crazy. I think Call of Duty, a lot of other games and Counter-Strike really borrowed from Soldier of Fortune 2. Really awesome game. All right, Unreal Tournament. Now this is one I know a lot of people are very passionate about, and it's arguably the de facto arena shooter. What do you think, Obi?
Unreal Tournament, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's fast paced. You had you can put bots. The bots actually played well. Tons of types of weapons. And then of course destroying people and having them blow up into gibs, little bloody bits.
Yeah.
And now, you know what? They have the new Unreal Tournament. It's free to play now. We should play that sometime for funsies. The latest Unreal Tournament is
Yeah, I saw that.
It's free. Hey, good night, Gunny Chief. Take it easy, man. But yeah, Unreal Tournament is a great series, and really, it's a series that focus almost exclusively on the multiplayer experience. And I think that was really cool. Like, you could play with bots, you could play alone, but it really is when you play with friends or play with random people that you really had a good time. And just having the announcer and a mega kill and all that kind of shit, and it just really got you hyped. And again, a lot of like big esports games kind of borrow from that, that kind of all the different mechanics and all the different features of the things that make you get excited, get that hype going, even if you're just watching, right, as a spectator. Because you had the option and then just watch as a spectator and just zoom in and zoom out. That game, again, ahead of this time. There's a few more, we'll just mention a few honorable mentions. Return to Castle Wolfenstein. This is when we haven't seen Wolfenstein for like a decade before this game came out. and it was a fantastic return. Heavily modded. You had enemy territory and a bunch of other mods. Great game. World War II setting, right? With a little bit of supernatural stuff in there. You had my favorite was the nude patch for the elite assassins. So the girls, when they would flip around, you know, you get a bunch of really bad polygonal boobs.
Yeah, we know you're a pervert.
All right, Tribes. I think is a huge game to mention. I don't think Tribes gets enough credit, and I still see a lot of games kind of rip off from it. I'm not gonna say who, but Tribes, fantastic. He has you had jet packs, and you could build sentry guns, and you had vehicles and shields. Amazing. And then my very last honorable mention is gonna be Doom 3. Most of people shit in that game for being like a shitty corridor shooter. Doom 3 is fun. I still go back to it and now and then for Retro Friday and stuff. It's not a bad game, and it's very much Doom. Damn! BFT says he Tribes allowed him to Tribes Ascend the other day and unlocked everything. Yeah, and Tribes does still live on with high res. Well, I'm talking about like the original Tribes, and then it was Tribes 2. That wasn't as popular, but yeah, pretty much most of these games we're talking about. Like Tribes was like what, late 90s?
97, I think. 98.
Yeah. Doom 3 is the only one of these that's kind of recent. I mean, it happened at least during last console generation. But no, we mentioned all this because shooters have come a long way, and I think it's important to recognize some of the things, the source material that they borrow from. Ooh, BFT says I think I have my Star Siege Tribes disc around here somewhere. Nice. Yes, sir. You know what? It's not really an FPS, but I'm gonna mention it anyway. Ultrabots. That's somewhere around Doom time. Cause that game was really neat. Anyway. So, what have we been playing? What have we been watching? Let's just jump into it, because I know we want to talk about TV. Obi, I know you don't watch Game of Thrones, right?
No.
I won't say too much about it, other than I'm really enjoying this season. And let's just say families are reunited. And we're finally...
Alert.
What's that?
Spoiler alert.
Well, that's very vague. I mean, there are going to be spoilers for the next 15, 20 minutes, just so you know, guys. But, no, for a while, the storylines were going in separate directions, and then they're finally converging, so that's cool. So, I haven't watched the latest Gotham this week. Ooh, I need to catch that. I did catch up on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which I know you want to talk about, and The Flash and Arrow. So let me just talk about the shows we don't have in common. The 100. I think they have like 1 or 2 episodes left. I can't wait for them to win. That's all I gotta say. Damn it, I can't wait. Once Upon a Time, Obi, finally has grown on to me. But is it... This show has finally grown on me, but is it me or is this show kind of a slow burn at times?
Yeah, many times.
Like, there's so much potential with that show, but sometimes I feel like it just drags on, and but like...
The only problem that I've ever seen with that show, and this is just coming... I love this show. I have since season 1, episode 1. The only thing that I've seen that is the problem with that show is when they have to drag out a storyline, and they have to actually tell you the storyline, and it takes 2 or 3 episodes when it should only take like 1 or 2. It makes it for a really boring middle parts. Now, when stuff's happening, when they're going back either to fairy tale land or coming back into town or going back into whatever they're doing, once the action starts, I mean, it's a pretty action-packed episode, and I mean, hell, sometimes it'll carry over into the next one, and it'll be great. But then you get those 3 or 4 episodes that are just like, I gotta watch this because if I don't, I won't know what's going on. But it's boring.
I honestly skipped around. I enjoyed it more when I started skipping some episodes, and I actually realized I didn't miss anything when I skipped those episodes. Like, there weren't questions I had. Like, I think there's only one thing I missed. Was what happened to Red? At some point, like, she just disappeared. They still have Granny, but not Red, and Red was one of my favorite characters because she's a hottie.
Do you want me to tell you?
Yeah, what happened? Because I'm probably not gonna go back to.
He turned into a wolf, dude.
She ran off?
Yeah.
Did she?
Yeah.
Why did she run away?
She'll be back. It's one of those things where she accepted her fate, she accepted what she was, kind of thing. She took off and did what she needed to do, and she'll be back.
Okay, because like I really like her. I feel like they don't play her up enough. Like she was all over at season 1, and like they started giving less and less roles, and I was like, huh? It was weird.
That actress, she actually was in the middle of a second show at the time.
I don't doubt it.
No, well, she wasn't supposed to be. That's why they were writing her out. They were writing her out in season 2, and then that other one kind of said, we'll do the same thing, and kind of screwed her on both ends. And now she was finally getting back into it. But yeah, she'll be back.
Yeah, because I'm like caught up. I'm on season 5, and I haven't seen her yet. All right. Don't tell me then. But hopefully she comes back because I like her. I love when when Granny goes, like she dresses like a drag queen on Halloween Eve or something like that. I was like, what?
That's Granny for you.
Yeah, Granny's cool too. She takes no shit from anyone. But yeah, Once Upon a Time is a great show. I think it has some issues with character development. Like Lost Girl had crappy plots at times, but it had good character development, and you fell in love with the characters. I think they finally got to a point, like maybe around season 3 with Once Upon a Time, where the characters were a lot more dynamic, because they were kind of flat, right? Everybody made binary choices like, well, I'm a hero, so I always do good things. But now, like, finally, like, the show is, like, more realistic. Like, everybody has a dark past, everybody has light, everybody has darkness. Everybody made mistakes, everybody does good things. And it's about, like, these themes. The recurring theme is redemption, right? Like, yeah, it's not about what you did in the past, but what you do to redeem yourself. And, talking about the price you pay for your decisions.
I wish they'd stop teetering Emma on the light side and the dark side.
Yeah.
Like in the first 2 or 3 seasons, it was supposed she's the savior, and then all of a sudden now it's like, oh my God, she's the Bane, and it's like, wait, who do we, do we follow her, and then she's having her own issues, and then the queen, and when we call people like the evil queen, she's good, sorta. But like when she starts fucking with her again, and it's just like, I don't know. It's just it's like rinse and repeat show. Lately to me.
Yeah. No, I felt that same way.
Even though they're coming out with and they're slotted for another season next season too, but even though they're coming out with like more characters from the Storybrooke land, there's honestly, I mean, they can dip into it and find some ones, but honestly, there's not many storybook characters left.
Oh, there's tons more they can explore. Like,
not that's gonna make it worthwhile in this show.
There's a lot of things they could do. Is like you said, they're hovering too much around this theme of happy endings and the savior, right? Like everything hinges around her. So like if they could get away from that a little bit, they could explore the other characters more. Cause like I think they finally did that by giving Regina her redemption. Like she's finally making the right calls, and she's showing that she could be good. Like
Right,
I really like
so she
Regina.
can get, because that's all she wants is her happy ending. She was the bad guy, and bad guys don't get their happy endings, and that's all she wanted.
Yeah, but I think overall she's grown a lot as a character. She realized that the way she was going about things was terrible. I think she honestly regrets her decisions, right?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I
He's
mean,
good at being two-faced, dude.
yeah, that's true. But she's evolved a lot more than Mr. Gold. Like, I love Mr. Gold, but
Mr. Gold's still a lizard, dude.
I'm just saying though, Mr. Gold, and I'm not caught up on everything, but I'm up to season 5, and Mr. Gold, like you feel for him, but it's like, damn, dude, you had it all, and you freaking keep throwing it away.
He had it all, but he wants more. Like, he's just greedy.
Yeah.
And that was his downfall back in the Storybook. Not Storybook, but the Storybook. That was his downfall. Yeah. That was his downfall back then too. That's why he took on, the Dark One. That's why he took on that power, so he wouldn't have to be a little bitch anymore. Really? I mean, he got his ass kicked right in front of his kid. I mean, come on.
I mean, he's one of the most powerful beings in all of the realms, but he's still a coward. That's kind of like they've played up that theme a lot. It's like, all right, we get it. He's a coward. Let's move on. Evolve him. Show more to him. You know, something's got to give with his character. I feel.
I did enjoy the bit with with Hook, and him calling him the scaly. Basically, the Dark One would be the alligator, the crocodile, and then Hook is Hook.
Yeah, he kept calling him crocodile. Yep.
Because actually in that show, Once Upon a Time, he actually cut Hook's hand off.
Yep.
But he looked like a scaly. He was he was like a crocodile. That's why he looked like one. That's why Hook's story in the show was the crocodile took my hand. Well, he cut his hand off in a sword fight on Hook's boat.
Like I like Hook now, but like that one thing pissed me off. Like, all right, the guy, this woman obviously, is smitten by you, but she's married. If you have a code of honor, just and if you really care about someone, let them do things the right way, right? Cut things off properly.
He's still at heart. He's still a pirate.
Right. I get that, but like
he's gonna sit there and be like, okay, I want to do the right thing, but I really want this girl, or I really want this person, or I really, really, really want this. So he's gonna take what he wants. He still reverts back to that Hook mentality more times than not on the show.
Well, the wife is more to blame because she was just abandoning her child and just so frivolous about it. Well, I never loved you. No, you did. That don't bullshit anybody. That's just a stupid excuse. Like, you just want to see the world, you want to frivolous and calling it love. Like, that whole bit pissed me off. Like, it's just, I hate people like that. It's like, oh, what? But I love him. It's like, you barely know him.
Oh, where his mom actually abandoned him for a pirate ship?
Yeah, because Rumpelstiltskin went to the bar. She's over there hanging out with the pirate. Come back to the house, and then she runs away. And it's all bullshit the way it happens. Like, if you're unhappy, just freaking confront him. They'll be like, well, I never loved you. And then the kid's suffering too. Like, that's fucked up.
Well, in the way it was brought it down, like his dad was a little bitch too.
Oh God.
So like he kind of learned being a bitch from his dad anyway. So it's kind of like, once his mom left, and basically because his mom left because the pirate was a big strong man. And she was married to a freaking little retarded pussy. I mean, he was, it was just something that, she just left. I didn't agree with it the way they kind of brought that angle, but I mean, it worked.
No, I mean they did a good job. They made you hate Hook, and then he evolved, and you appreciated him more. He was despicable to begin with.
I loved him.
No, I didn't like the way he went about that thing. You know, I don't want anybody. If someone said they love me, I said, all right, well, look, handle your business, and then once you handle your business, then we do this the right way. I don't want a married woman, and leaving your child behind. Because what's to say you won't do that to me, right?
Dude, they're pirates. They don't give a fuck. The only reason they wanted her on board anyway is because it's a freaking. You're gonna use her as a fucking stool.
Yeah, but then he fell in love with her. So he's a softie. That's the thing about it.
Yeah.
He takes what he wants, but at the end of the day, he's a hopeless romantic. Come on, he was like a little lost puppy chasing after Emma.
Big wuss.
It's funny because him and Gold are a lot more alike than they would like to admit. If you think about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Once Upon a Time, it's a fun show, man. I appreciate it a lot more now. I remember I had gotten into also the spin-off show, Once Upon a Time in Wonderland. I was surprised they never did a Once Upon a Time in Oz. I guess not much they could do there. They probably can. What that Will, the guy that was going out with Belle, who the hell is he? He's from Wonderland, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's the knave, isn't he? Or what is his role? I forget, because he's like a character you don't really get to appreciate until you watch the spin-off show.
He was somebody insignificant to the show, I know. That's why he didn't last.
Yeah, because they try to play him up a lot in different scenes. Like, there was like a history there, and I'm like, why should I care? Like, sometimes I feel that's one of the problems. Like, they try to build up these other subplots, and they take away from other characters that are actually interesting, you know? Like, I care about Granny, I care about Red, and, the Prince Charming and Snow White, though they make me want to gag sometimes. And
Oh. Yeah.
Nah, they've done a good job. Anyway, moving on, because I can talk a bit about it. This is fresh in my mind, but all right. So, you want to talk about Agents of Shield season finale, Flash, Arrow?
Sure, man. Whatever you want to talk about.
Which one am I gonna do first? What do you have the most to say about? We'll leave that for last.
Probably Shield.
Okay. So let's talk about. Let's just start with Arrow then. So it looks like this is gonna wrap up next episode. It feels like, or maybe in 2 episodes from now.
I think the next episode will be done.
I haven't looked ahead to see how many episodes are left on this season, but like right now, it looks like it's gonna be the final showdown because Oliver has found the light and can finally fight Dark.
Yeah, he was pushing him back and finding things, and now he's actually learning to use it, and yeah, it's getting pretty weird at this point.
Yeah, the kind of supernatural stuff. Yeah, it feels a little shoehorned in, but I mean, this is a world.
Well, no, not the supernatural stuff, because I mean that's what most of the shows that we're watching is like. You got Shield, Flash. It's all supernatural stuff.
Yeah, but it feels a little
it's
out of
not
place
the
on
point.
Arrow.
It is, because he's bow and arrow. Like, he's a bow and arrow melee fighter, not a magic user. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm glad they're making it more well-rounded because it's a shared universe with shows like The Flash and Supergirl. It makes sense that there's magic in the world and other things going on that aren't just kung fu fights. You know?
Right. I just don't know why. Like, I don't know. It almost seemed like him having that role and having the light, whatever. I mean, it threw me for a loop first.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm fine with it. I mean, it's gonna happen whether I like it or not. But it's something that it was like, wait, what? He has what in him?
Yeah.
Like, it was confusing for a second there first.
When you think about it, like, if you compare it to like Once Upon a Time or even The Flash, that it's all about these like plots where they have to triumph over their inner demons in order to find the light.
Right.
That's the plot in a lot of these shows. It feels like.
Well, just like when Barry lost, he had to go to the Speed Force and all that other bullshit too. I mean, it was like one of those things where it was like a wake up call for him, and like nobody understands what he's like, what he's feeling, what he's actually truly. Because all he's saying to everybody is like, "We got this, guys," and everybody's like, "What? Like you're way too." Be a little optimistic. No, we got this.
Oh, I know. And that's the thing about the flight. Like that last episode was awesome because we saw. I see why you went oh shit because was your oh shit about the special appearance? Black Siren.
Yes, and
Okay.
The death.
Yeah, that was fucked up. But we saw it coming.
But Black Siren, which was what's her name? Laura Lance's Earth 2 counterpart or doppelganger. Fucking badass. Oh.
I don't like Katie Cassidy that much. I don't like her character that much. I'm not a big Laura Lance fan. She has permanent bitch face. She has resting bitch face.
Right.
Like she finally got better towards the end, but then by that point it's like, too little, too late.
You remember NCIS, right?
Yeah.
Tony DiNozzo has done his last episode.
Oh yeah.
Yep, Tony left the show. He come to find out Ziva, Ziva is right, the Israeli. Yeah, her and him, had their moments. Well, a 4 or 5 year old little girl came in the picture, which is his, because Ziva had got killed, supposedly. Had got killed for it, and then the only leaving survivor was the little girl, which is Tony's little girl. It's. I don't see him being gone forever, but it's something that it kind of sucks because he's like a staple of the show.
Yeah, like you can't have to me, you can't have the show. That's Gibbs, DiNozzo, and Abby, right?
There's Gibbs.
No, I'm saying the ones that matter because everybody else has been.
Well, the ones that matter to me is the whole team, plus Ducky and
Ducky's
Palmer, and Palmer because he's part of that down there. Ducky and Palmer, which is the medical examiners. Then you have Gibbs, you have DiNozzo, you have McGee, and the chick. I still don't remember her name. But
JT or something.
But like it's come down to it where like the last season or so is like, okay, she got divorced from her husband. Now McGee and his girlfriend or whatever she is, the one that's in the wheelchair, is back together, and it's just, yeah, it's been a really, really good show. It's been out forever. So
Yeah, it shows like what 7, 8 seasons in. It feels like.
oh shit, more than that, dude.
Really?
Yeah, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. final episode.
Well,
Final
real quick, because BFT has some feedback about Arrow. So he said Oliver learning magic was something available to anyone. Light and dark was just two sides to that again. Everyone had nothing special about him. Oh yeah. And the point is not so much that it's. I mean, there's a lot of things said in that. I don't even know how to even approach that. Other than that, I feel like they need to have more variety like that on the show. Because if it's a shared universe, then it makes more sense to have more of that stuff. Like, what will Oliver do when he's confronted with metahumans or by magic? Because kung fu and really good aim only takes you so far, right?
Right. Well, I think I'm honestly wanting it to happen, which I think it really should, but I think they're going to be doing some more crossovers next season with the Flash, and then Supergirl is going to get in there, and then I think it's going to be something to where all the metahumans that the Flash is battling right now, right?
Oh yeah.
So like I think Oliver might have to help, or something leads him over to Star City. We'll see.
Well, Oliver's in Star City, and the Flash in Central City. So this
Yeah,
feel
well,
like
Central City, yeah.
they're not that far from each other. It just
No,
seems
it's like
weird.
it's like Minneapolis and then St. Paul, and the Twin Cities. It's like that literally.
Yeah, so it just seems funny to me that there is a more overlap. And BFT brought up another point that we were talking about this for a while. It was rumored, but now it's confirmed that Supergirl is coming to CW. And I said this from the beginning. See, Supergirl didn't feel like it should be on CBS. It just felt like it did not fit. So they already had a crossover between Supergirl and the Flash. So now that pretty much gave it away. They were eventually going to move over. So it's going to be neat seeing what they could do with Supergirl, Arrow, and the Flash. So Mark Guggenheim is kind of hinting that the Arrow is almost done. Like he's almost done with that. I don't know if they have 1 or 2 seasons left or what. That'd be a shame.
As far as I know, rumors are it's the last one will probably be this next season.
Ah, interesting.
Rumors are rumors. Rumors have it.
So they gotta have. I'm hoping they have more of a superhero team based. I don't know, a Justice League TV show. They probably won't do that, but we could wish. Alright, so Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So season finale, we had a double episode.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of stuff happened. We see Daisy is really beating herself up. She hates herself. She feels like she's dirty. She's evil. She needs to be punished. But then on the flip side,
dirty girl.
She's a dirty girl. But then on the flip side, she looks like shit. She's all pale. She got bags under her eyes because they sapped so much of her blood.
It was like he was draining her blood, dude.
I know.
She's like, the one thing that made was starting to weird me out. She's like, well, how much do you need? And he's like, all of it. I'm like, wait, what? So you're gonna kill her? Or what's going on?
Oh yeah, he was going to kill her. He said all of it. He was going to drain every last bit of blood out of her. And you could tell she had maybe 2 or 3 pints left. What do we have in a human body? 8 pints? I forget. 10 pints? 8 to 10 pints?
I don't know.
I forget, but it's not as much as you would think. It's not in gallons. It's less than you would think. So they were sucking the blood out of her. So yeah, if they didn't get there in time, she would have been dead. But the thing was crazy. Then we realized that she actually had she was like a junkie. That's another reason she looked like shit. Because she was really hurting. Because she wanted her fix. So we find out that being part of the hive is a drug. It puts you in a state of euphoria. You still have some degree of self-awareness and self-control, but it's just you're just in a state of nirvana. It's out there, whoa, man.
Hey, now, the big guy, right? That big demon-looking guy that helped Daisy?
Lash, yeah.
Right, so in your opinion, what did he actually do when he pulled that out? Because he pulled something else out of her to basically make Hive not want her anymore.
He made her immune to his powers, basically. He couldn't do the instant kill thing on her, and he couldn't take her over again. So what he did specifically, he pulled out a blue thing, like a blue essence. It was weird, but I don't think it really mattered. I don't think they're gonna address it either.
Yeah, it was just kind of weird because it's like he gave her the cure to him so she could actually fight him, because when she was laying there, he's like, "You're free now."
Yep, yeah. But I felt kind of bad that Lash let his guard down and then he got killed.
Yeah, it was inevitable. Fuck it.
Kind of stupid circumstances though, but It's
Right.
the whole they wanted to play up the whole every Inhuman has a purpose, which makes you think like I don't know if that's played out completely. There's got to be more Inhumans out there, and what is there still a big grand scheme going on? Like I like in ways this is kind of playing out like an X-Men storyline. And since they can't do X-Men with mutants, they're kind of doing this with the Inhumans. Like I'm feeling like now this brought awareness of, wasn't there like an ordinance plan passed to stop Inhumans and all this other stuff? BFT says that the blue was last energy and it was the parasites having planted. That's right. He has the blue energy, and then there was like, yeah, the little parasites that he did, but there must have been something else he took out along with it. Some of her negative energy, I don't know.
Well, because it was like it wasn't to the point that because he looked at her, and then because when they were on the Quinjet, and she's like, take me with you, take me back, and he walked over to her, touched her face, and then instantly we're like, no, I'm good, I don't want you anymore. You're not worthy, or you're not whole, or whatever he said to her. BFT else, where is Black Bolt and the other Inhuman heavy hitters? Are they still just chilling on the dark side of the moon? Yeah, probably.
See, that's what I'm saying. That there's no way they finish with this Inhuman stuff.
Oh,
Since
no,
they don't have...
it's not done. It's just like they gotta think about what they're actually gonna do, because if they take this show into the the right direction, everything will flow right, everything will be fine. But if they do something like introduce an Inhuman that is not that kind of player number, I guess you could call it. If they put out too big of a player number, they put out a 10. And all they need for this next season is to start out with a 5 and then work their way up to a 10. They could really screw themselves, like big time.
Yeah, I feel like with the Inhumans, like a lot of characters from the Marvel universe that we've known as mutants, they get repurposed as Inhumans, especially if they are not central to the X-Men universe. They can get away with it and put them in there because they, there's loopholes in the whole deal they have, right? They can't mention X-Men or the mutants or any of the properties, but there's still a ton of characters out there. So I'm curious to see what they'll do next. The way they left this off this season, there's gonna be more, but
it was a good stopping point, I thought.
Yeah,
I was a little disappointed at the end of how it ended, but it was a good stopping point. Like they both, Electro, I can't remember his name, but they actually blew up, and Lincoln and Hive blew up in the same. Like he's like, I'm finally getting something that I've eluded for all these years, and the true form of Hive was fucking awesome.
Yeah, he was like a Kraken.
Yeah, dude, he's like the guy from Pirates, the pirate from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, Captain Davies or whatever his
Yeah.
name was. Yeah, that was dope. Yep.
I was like,
No.
dude, that's freaking awesome, because he was going to get into Coulson at one point, and so he revealed his true form to Coulson. It was fucking cool.
Yeah, that little showdown they had, which wasn't really a showdown.
Mhm.
But no, I like the ending just because we saw that they humanized Hive. Basically, all he wanted was, all this time, he was seeking understanding of human beings, and he was seeking connection. And he got it towards the end, but it was too late by then. But you finally saw, like, well, this is something that I never understood, never got to experience myself, so cool. Like, he accepted his fate.
Right.
But it was also cool when we saw, like, well, I'm going to show them something they never seen from me yet, Rage. So it's like, all the shit that Hive had done before was, like, him being calm. And like, oh, shit, Rage. I don't want to see that. But, yeah, oh, yeah, BFT said the same thing. They showed the human side of his motivation, of Hive and his motivations. I almost feel sorry for him, too. Yeah. Yep. So we're on the same wavelength. Like they did a really good job. Like, because all too often you see really black and white, cut and dry kind of things. Like this is the good guy. Good guy's a real Boy Scout, and the bad guy is just despicable. No redeeming factor. You know.
Mm.
But they played up the fact that I don't know if you noticed with Coulson, he was talking about he made that point about how Lincoln was paying for all of their mistakes, and that's kind of interesting. Like clearly, the mistake that Coulson made that he feels was killing Ward.
Right.
I'm just wondering how else it could have played out. I mean, I'm wondering who else feels that kind of regret. Because it seems like the way they did, you were talking about how it's kind of disappointing at the end, they kind of make it seem like everybody goes their separate ways.
Right. Well, you got to think about the married couple that basically got caught and had to disavow
Oh, God, yeah.
to not die. Basically, okay, we don't know nothing about them, and then they actually got kicked out because they can't be a part of that anymore because they disavowed the United States.
Yeah, because they had to do that to avoid a war.
They had to do that from being frickin' executed.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope that they can find some way to bring them back, because I've really missed Bobby and Hunter.
It's going to be really, really hard to bring them back.
Yeah. But I would want them back as something more than a cameo, like a significant recurring role, you know? I felt like they added something to the team. Like, right now the team feels very shallow. Like, it's like there's no one there, really.
Spread thin. Alright, I'm going to have to wrap this up soon, brother.
All right, man. Well, actually, it's about, yeah. So I guess we'll just talk a little bit more about Doom. Is there anything you want to talk about that you've been playing lately, Obi? I know you want to wrap it up, but
No, I've been playing the same games, doing different things, getting different little footage things, making right now, I'm playing a lot of COD and recording everything. Well, an idea came up of worst kills or worst times Obi's been killed or something like that. And we went through all the went through a lot of the footage and stuff like that, and we probably got about 6 hours worth of stuff where I would just run and I would make a kill or get some hit markers and then jump off the map. Or, yeah. I'd kill the guy, make a brilliant move, but then I'd run out of boost, and I'd go, well, there's the ground, boom. Or I'd do a wall run, and I'd be bouncing back and forth, running the wall back and forth, and all of a sudden I'd bounce, and then my thumb would slip off my thumbstick, and then I would just fall right down because I don't have a wall to run on. Yeah.
That all sounds really funny. I had to play I need to play more Call of Duty with you guys. Well, you guys are not playing on Xbox anymore.
Yeah, right now I'm playing it. I'm just getting on. I do a couple games of TDM. I go do a couple games of Hardpoint, and then S&D, of course. And then I try by that time. Usually when I try to go do some uplink or some capture the flag, I'm so fed up with the game that I just quit. Go play basketball or something. Playing lots of NBA 2K16. I finally got a guy. I'm a 7'3" center. 7'3". Yeah, 7'3", 280 pounds. My reach is like 7 foot. So I rebound everything, and I can dunk from freaking to the free throw line. It's great. Anyway.
That sounds crazy.
Yeah, it's great.
It's like cheating.
Yeah, no, because there's other people that can do that. I mean, it's just I'm learning a lot of things. Like I'm leveling up quite a bit lately to where I'm getting it's over that line to where if you get over this line, you're gonna be really good at one thing, and then then you get in more points and you'll be really good at this next thing. So I'm a center. I don't need to shoot 3-pointers. I can already hit those.
Yeah. Makes sense.
No, man, same games. We are gonna be. This is something new. But we're. Fuck, I don't say. No backstory. I've been playing Hearthstone again. Getting in with that. Get my 15 packs or whatever it is. Cthulhu, whatever his name is. Cthulhu. Badass motherfucker. My highest Cthulhu was a 1818. I know Blades got his highest Cthulhu up to 21 and 21 or something like that. Yeah, it was great. Like, I just wanted to see it, played and how it worked, and it was pretty cool.
Yeah, Cthulhu is so strong. It's hard not to play it right now.
Well, like, I want to build a deck like his Blades' priest deck. His priest deck is just crazy good because every time he heals, it gives Cthulhu a +1/+1 or a +2/+2 or whatever it is. Picking up the monsters Hunter Generation 3 and 3DS XL with Monster Hunter Generation in July. Nice.
Yeah, I was recommending. So we're talking about Marvel and the Inhumans. It made me think about the Marvel trading card game on the original Nintendo DS. That game is really, really freaking good, and it has some really unique mechanics in it. I might play that tonight while I rest my old man back and try to get some sleep. But yeah, Hearthstone.
Yeah, we were going. Well, and reason I'm getting back into Hearthstone too is we're starting to look for a player that's serious that wants to actually get into the esports scene. So I want to have a little bit of knowledge of the game.
Yeah, in Hearthstone they just brought back the Mechazod Tavern Brawl, which is basically the only way you could do cooperative on Hearthstone right now. This should almost be like co-op should be like.
Tavern Brawl's up right now too.
Yes, I'm talking about the Mechazod is the Tavern Brawl.
Yeah,
and
fight him.
I feel like that should be a permanent cooperative or tag duel should be like a permanent feature. It's a cool thing because I have friends they challenge me to a duel and I don't want to battle them because it's like. Well, yeah, we could do a fun battle, but we don't get anything out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, these ones you actually get gold if you win.
Yeah, exactly. So.
But you got to win together, so it's not like you're not versing your friends. You're actually playing on the same team.
Exactly. So. With Megazord, he's very frustrating. He basically part of the working with him is as the paladin, your goal is to buff the creatures and be really smart about who you buff, and the priest obviously has to focus on prioritize healing because that's what the priest does.
Well, there's a card for a paladin where it's 2/2 every time you summon a creature. So every time you summon your little 1/1 paladin thing, it's like a 3/3 right off the bat. It's a card. I was talking to Blades about it. It's a card that you can get. It's another Cthulhu card.
Yeah, but the thing is with Mechazod, it's pre-made deck you have to work with. You have to use what they give you. But what's neat about it is once you understand the Mechazod, he only had 3 main abilities that he did each turn, right? And that's at each player's turn. And at the end of each player's turn, he's going to do one of these 3 things. Overclock, which increases his attack, and he does it about 3 to 5 times per match. And he usually increases attack by 2 points. I think he caps out at 10 attack. Bomb Salvo, he attacks 3 targets at random, and the bombs do damage equal to where his attack is at. But the thing that's important there, he attacks 3 targets at random, but he will not attack the same target more than once. And then prioritization, he's gonna kill the minions with the highest attack. Oh yeah, I forgot. There's actually a fourth thing. He does a basic attack that attacks both players for the amount of attack damage that he does. So you basically, the whole thing is you want to keep your field as loaded as possible. It may be tempting to keep attacking with your minions, but if you're not doing significant damage, you may want to wait to be able to get something where you can add more attack damage, double up the attack damage, etc. You know. The thing with prioritization, he can instantly kill a minion too. There's a lot of fun mechanics. It's frustrating, but it's kind of neat. It helps you work on your awareness and your teamwork. I know you're not feeling well, Obi, so we'll just talk about Doom real quick. I'm still enjoying the game. BFT was saying that he just beat the game. He's put 22 hours into the single player, and he says there's still a ton more stuff he could do in the game. Like he hasn't fully upgraded his weapons, and he missed a bunch of secrets. And he's more of a completionist than I am, so I'm thinking I could probably get it done in like 15 hours. I'm not that hard pressed to find all the nooks and crannies. I'm more just like excited to get through it and be like, I did it. But you know, at the rate I'm going at right now, I'm really enjoying just taking my time with each level. So who knows?
Right.
The level design is really good in that game, and I mean the sound design, like it's everything. I'm just really enjoying it. It's fun. It is a fun experience, and it's something relatively fresh right now. It's a pretty fresh experience compared to everything we've been getting recently. I think it's really unique.
Well, from what I've watched on it, on your stream, and then other people's stream, I like it. Just like I said, I can't justify really paying that money for it right now.
Yeah. I mean, like when you compare it to like an Overwatch or Battleborn, it's a no-brainer in that you're getting a full-fledged single-player campaign and a lot of replay value. With Overwatch and Battleborn, you know, not to beat a dead horse, they're fantastic games, but there's something comparable to it out there on all platforms that's, you know, free. It's just hard to justify it. Like, when I look at Battleborn and Overwatch, like, I love them, but not enough to say, well, like, I wonder, like, well, I have Smite, I have Killer Instinct, I don't know, like, I don't know, not similar games, but it's like, there's so much free-to-play content out there. Like, if you're doing something that's a paid game, you really need to do something special, you know what I mean? Like, it's weird. You know, Air Mech, you know, it's not really, most people won't consider it a full-fledged MOBA, but it's got the MOBA mechanics in there, and that's free-to-play on most platforms. I don't know, we have a lot of choices right now, so I think like game studios need to be a lot more aggressive, you know, with the value that they offer. But anyway, did you want to add anything about what you've been playing, Obi?
No.
So maybe next week, if it all goes well, we'll either talk more about shooters, kind of the evolution of shooters and where we like to see them go. Or maybe we'll come back to Dark Souls. Talk about that. You never know. Hopefully, Beard and Hat or BFT or one of our other resident Dark Souls experts will join us to be part of the conversation. And hopefully I'll make progress on Dark Souls 1 or 2 or both. In the meantime.
Right. And I'll still be not playing it.
Fantastic. Alright. Well, Obi, you don't have to go through the full spiel if you really don't feel like it. Just give people a few ways they can connect with us after the show.
Guys, we do want to make sure that we let you know, too, everything and anything that we've talked about tonight. If you have your own opinions, you guys can send us a voicemail or a text message by using the number 646-801-2149. That's 646-801-2149. Give us a shout. I mean, even if it's a text message, we'll get the transcripts, we'll read them out next show, and see what you guys think. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, you guys can, if you guys are interested in getting Horseplay Live, you guys can go and get it at many different places. Allgames.com, Player, FM, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio. You guys would take a few minutes to favorite, subscribe, thumbs up. Give us a shout. It really helps. Even better, we really enjoy getting reviews and comments. And that being said, we really enjoy, seeing what people think about what's going on with us. So let us, help us out. It's easy, guys. But huge thanks to all those that have been pimping out our content. Really appreciate it. If you guys want to check out the videos for these, you guys can go to youtube.com/geekyantics and twitch.tv/geekyantics. But here on Geeky Antics, in collaboration with All Games Radio Network, we have tons of shows that we cover. We're not going to plug them all. It'll take forever. If you guys want to go find your favorite show, go to geekyantics.net/schedule. You can also see our flagship show and our Twitch profile and aggregate feed over at geekyantics.net/podcast. As you remember, the intros and outro are brought to you royalty-free via TechnoX. That's Techno with a K. Go to check him out, technox.com. Other than that, guys, we really appreciate you. You guys can find me everywhere, Obi1X2, or make sure you guys, again, follow at Topstar Esports and, of course, at TSE Obi1. That's Obi1, O-N-E, Obione. There's no X2 on it anymore, but you guys go check it out. Of course, Twitch, Obi1X2, and everywhere else. You guys can find me anywhere. Yep.
Yo, by the way, we are on Google Play Music now. You can find us on there. We hit the big time. I guess that's what that means.
Yeah.
And I'm YogiZilla everywhere. Xbox Live, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, whatever else is cool these days. I don't know. Facebook. People still use that? I think so.
Yeah. It's where all the cool kids play. You guys listen to us on allgames.com. The Dead Pixel Live Power Ranking Show is up next, followed by Knuckleballer Radio. It's new time every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Be sure to hang out in the chat room by just clicking the live or chat button. Now remember our friends at the B Team Podcast. They're now Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Pacific, on our unofficial sister network, All Games Radio Network. Guys, it's Obi1X2. Over there is YogiZilla. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Peace out, yo.
That shit is funny as hell. Later, guys. Love you long time. Peace.